Oh, good evening, anyway. Someone's there. Someone's there. I see the person there. Okay. Hello, whoever you are. I'm taking Speckled Den. It's Wednesday night. It's the middle of October. It's um, it's a terrible year, but whatever, whatever. Let's just come and be miserable together. Randy Andy. Okay, it's not getting any better, Mister Eddie. Yeah, you're damn right it ain't, mate. Nice to see it anyway. Gavin Lunt from Aintree. Oh, whoa, Liverpool. Liverpool's terrible lockdown. Liverpool is the worst lockdown, and I don't live there. I haven't lived there for a long time, but apparently it's the worst lockdown anywhere in England. Wait a minute. No, come on. Let me just do something first of all. Something that I forgot to do. There you go. Okay. There you go. I think powered off. Just in case all of a sudden I start getting bing, bing, bing from Facebook and all of that kind of stuff, annoying everyone. Let's have a little look. Okay, who's having a look? US Marine, yeah? Steph's mate, I met you in Pattaya. You may well have done, yeah. Yeah, okay, fine, thank you. Nice to see you, hear from you again. Butter and Bonnie, good evening to you. I believe I've met you. There's someone with a similar name that we said that I've met. And he said, no, you never met me, but I think I met you anyway. But anyway, how are you? Nice to hear from you. Timmy Tabasco, go to Cuba. Do you know something? Cuba, I went there, actually went there on my 40th birthday. I spent my 40th birthday. I won't tell you what I got up to, but it was one to remember. In fact, it's actually quite a few to remember. But Cuba's wonderful, but I don't believe that is on the menu right now at this moment in time, okay? Mac Media, hi Eddie from the South Coast, okay, nice to hear from you. Mr. P, they let Liverpool down last night. Terrible behaviour. I don't know. I don't know. I've only looked fleetingly at the news. William Duggan, well, Eddie, have you checked flights yet? Yes, the answer is yeah. I'll talk about that in a moment. Okay, TJ King, don't do Mexico, do the DR or Colombia. I've been to Colombia. I wouldn't mind seeing that again. Never been to the DR. I have said this before, I look at those videos. Sorry, mate, but those big assed women, you know, and they're proud of the big asses. They don't exactly appeal to me. Some guys like it, but not really for me. Okay, Jay Sherwin, thank you. Okay, everyone's getting. A lot of people are mentioning Colombia. I'm not so sure. Colombia is on the menu right now. For this terrible time. Letting people in and all this kind of stuff. Butter and butter. You did meet me in Pittsburgh. Okay, great to hear from you, mate. Let's hope we can all be out there again sometime. Bold as ever. I don't think they will have Jules Claron in Mexico, but they will have nice rum in Cuba. Okay. Will they have speckled in? Will they have speckled in? What's that Mexican drink? Corona. A lot of people drink it here. Not a fan. It looks. I have tasted it. It's a bit weak, really. Not really for me. Paul Jones, flights are back on from Europe to Mexico. I'll tell about Mexico in a minute, okay? Richie is rich, okay? Always nice to hear from you, mate. Always nice to hear from you. Okay, Blackpool. Greetings from Australia. Great to hear from you. US Marine, I'm drinking speckled hen right here. I know it might say dry blackthorn on the glass, but times are hard. I haven't actually come across it and invested in the speckled hen glasses. It's speckled hen, lovely ale, okay? Cancun is nice and pretty. Steve Han, okay. Flights right now cheap, 200 return. Timmy Tabasco flights. Eddie, okay. Eddie goes to Playa del Carmen, okay. Latino birds are fit. They certainly are. They certainly are. I had a 40th birthday in Cuba to remember. Oh, magnificent. Oh, jeez. Oh, such powerful bodies as well. They're beautiful. They're beautiful. Let's talk a little bit about Mexico, okay. Now, what have we got about Mexico? I have to have some notes here because I'm getting on a bit. I forget things. Okay, so let's first of all, with regards to Mexico, it seems to be the only place which ticks all the boxes right now. Southeast Asia, it's not going to happen this year. It's not going to happen. Much as I hate me to say it, but it's just not going to happen. I'm getting really frustrated. But Mexico seems to tick all the boxes. It's got winter sunshine. It's not really particularly expensive. In fact, the last time I was there about 15 years ago, and it wasn't really that expensive. I don't believe it's an expensive country. Could be wrong. But it ticks all the boxes. It's got winter sunshine. It's quite a safe country. It was when I was there. It's basically, they seem to be really largely ignoring what's happening. I know they've had terrible COVID. Can someone tell me something about Mexico, by the way, in case I forget this? I've been watching a lot of videos this week about Mexico. It's a big country. There's lots to offer there. One thing I'm still not quite sure at this moment in time, are all the bars and restaurants and whatever, are they all closing the doors at 10 o'clock? Is there a 10 o'clock curfew right now throughout Mexico? I still haven't really got the answers to that one. It wouldn't fit in with me if it was, but then, you adapt to things. George Stevenson, hello Ed, I'm from Gibraltar. Just been told can't go to work tomorrow as someone has COVID. That's terrible, man. That's absolutely terrible. That's terrible. Well, good luck to you, mate. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. Paul Jones, Colombia is now open to British people. To British people. Panama too. That's interesting. I've never been to Panama. I believe that could be all right. Simon Anderson, nice to hear from you. Jamie from Gibraltar. Oh yeah, is that the second person from Gibraltar? What's charity? Yeah, apparently not even one Chinese person applies for the STV special long stay visa. Turns out, it's a bit of a farce, isn't it? All those things that we thought were exciting when we first heard of, the long-term visa and the Phuket idea and all that, it all turned out to be a bit of a farce. I think, I'm sorry, but I wouldn't waste my time. I just don't think that Southeast Asia, in general, is really the place to be. It's just not going to happen this year. So I'm looking at Mexico. And what have I got to say about Mexico? Okay. Now, first of all, the first thing I want to talk about, and I mentioned this on a vlog, on a live stream the other week, is that Mexico is the place that seems to be open. A lot of people are heading there. You've seen a lot of YouTubers who have gone to Mexico. I made some really nice videos. But the fact is, the one thing that you need to visit any country before anything really, you need to have enthusiasm for that place. You need to be enthusiastic about going there. And to be perfectly honest with you, when it becomes apparent that it's all, it's Mexico, that's the place to go. That's the place that's going to be open this winter time. I wasn't really that enthusiastic. I've been to Mexico before. I've been to, I've done a couple of months between Mexico and these Central American countries, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Belize. I have been to Mexico before. I went to Cancun and Playa del Carmen. I visited Chichen Itza and whatever. So I have actually been to Mexico. But you could easily argue that if you've been to Cancun and Playa del Carmen, then you haven't really been to Mexico. When I was there, I liked it, but I was just more interested in the other countries. Really, it just seemed more adventurous, those other countries. So Mexico is a big country, and you can easily spend a few months there. What I'm thinking of, I mean, there's a long winter ahead. I'm thinking of maybe, 3 months, maybe even 4 months. Let me talk something about Mexico. I've looked into it. I watched a lot of videos this week. And one thing that I do really think is a little bit irresistible about Mexico is that it has this irresistible no visa, and you can stay for 6 months. That's terrific. That is so refreshing. I mean, you look at, the Southeast Asian countries, Vietnam and Cambodia, sometimes it'll be a hassle to get all the visa for some country. But Latin America is more relaxed when it comes to visas. I traveled all through the South American continent, and visas weren't a problem. You just turn up at the border and they'll stamp your passport. You can stay here for 90 days. In Mexico's case, you can stay there for, I think it's 180 days, 6 months. That is terrific. It'll be nice to be able to go to somewhere and just turn up there and not have to worry about visas or overstaying or any of that kind of stuff. So, so like I say, we talk about Mexico. No, the only other country that I can think of offhand, perhaps Brazil is I don't know. I can't remember all the visa in Brazil because I went in and out of that country. But the only other country which did do a 6-month visa years ago was India, which is not on the menu right now anyway. But the fact is, with the 6-month visa, you still had to have a visa there. It was a really great 6-month visa for India. But it was a bit of a hassle getting hold of that visa. Now, I don't know if anyone else had this experience. I went there I think it was about 12 years ago, something like that. But I booked a flight for India. I thought, what the hell, go and book the flight. But then after I booked the flight, I realised that visa was going to be a bit of a hassle to get hold of for India. Because apparently, I don't know how it is now, but then you have to put on your visa form that the addresses and phone numbers of 2 people that you know in India. Well, I didn't know anyone in India. How the hell am I going to put them down as a reference? I didn't know anyone. I was helped out of that by an Indian work colleague who put me in touch with his dad who lived in Delhi, and his dad was able to vouch for me, which was a huge help. But really, I got really frustrated with that Indian visa. It seemed a little bit complicated. But the fact is, Mexico, 6-month visa. Well, you don't really have a visa. You just turn up there. They'll give you 6 months. That's great, and that's very refreshing. And I wish all countries were like that, to be honest with you. Paul Jones, London, Mexico City to Cancun, London 380. Yeah, absolutely. I've been looking at flights. I've been looking at flights all the time. I haven't booked anything yet, but it's things are getting on. It's time's moving on. It's the middle of October now. It's autumn in England. The winter will be here soon. I don't want to be here. I want to be in the sun. I want to be in shorts and t-shirts. I want to be walking down a beach, looking at lovely. By the way, they go topless in Mexico, in Cancun, and yeah, they do. Oh yeah, whatever. It's a lot of silicon there. I remember seeing an awful lot of very, very good-looking middle-aged American ladies with nice bodies, but there's a lot of silicon there. I've never seen so much silicon in all my life. But yeah, Mexico's cool. I've been watching a lot of videos. There's a lot to that country. Like you say, I've been to Mexico before, but you could easily argue that I haven't really, really been to Mexico. So perhaps this is the time to really go to Mexico, spend months out there, and travel around and really explore the place. I'm sure it's a great country. Tony Edds, it was great when I went. Someone else said Colombia. I had I don't know. Out of Latin American girls, I prefer Brazilian girls to Colombian girls. Personally, I just had better experiences with them. Dixie Norm, it's nice to hear from you. Anthony Cavalier, Ed, certain areas are very dangerous with the drug cartels in charge of areas and the kidnapping of tourists. This would be, with regards to safety, yeah, Anthony, you're right. This would be a more dangerous time than what it normally would be, simply because there's going to be less tourists around. In all of these countries, if you make it there will be the same number of robbers, thieves, pickpockets, all the rest of it, kidnaps. There'll be the same number of them. But you as a tourist, there'll be far less of you. So the odds are sort of stacked against you. So you just got to be realistic with that. I don't know. I don't think anyone want to kidnap me. I walk around like a scruff bag, shorts and t-shirts. I don't flash the jewelry. I've never owned any jewelry in my life. People look at me and they probably think the hell want to kidnap him. Ross Romes, Edward Sweeney, why don't you wear for another 6 months? Then have a whole year off to party. Indochina might be open by then. Another 6 months. Well, I've already worked for over 6 months now, and I don't know. At my age, you don't live for that. Look, I'll cut to the chase on this one. I was going to mention this, but I met an old work colleague this last week, who's the same age as me, and he said that he's got pancreatic cancer. He's going to be dead within a year. He said it bluntly, as a matter of factly, because, whenever I hear that, it frightens me. I like to treat every year as if it's the last year, my last year alive. Never assume that, you're going to be here next year. When people say, don't worry, it'll be all right next year, I think, yeah, but I might not be here next year. I know that sounds depressing and morbid, but I'm trying to be realistic, man. Trying to be realistic. Just trying to be realistic, Eat, drink, and be merry. For tomorrow, we pay our council tax. That's what I always say. So anyway, did I talk about enthusiasm? Yeah, before you plan anything, you've got to have enthusiasm for any country. You've got to really, really, really want to go there. And I was like, thinking, I'll just stick to the Southeast Asian countries for the rest of my life, really. But it's a no-no. It's a no-go this year. So, that old adventurous spirit, traveling around. I've done lots of that in the past. I've done 20-hour bus journeys to Argentina, Ethiopia, all kinds of stuff. I've been there, done that. Glad that I'd done it because it was adventurous. But at my stage in life, I wouldn't necessarily want to do it again. But I could, I don't want to do 20-hour bus journeys anymore. Like you say, but I could do it. I could do a 10-hour or a 5-hour bus journey. So I've been looking at a lot of maps around Mexico. I've been watching there's a lot of videos out there, even from YouTubers, which I've never heard of before, who do some really great stuff on Mexico. It's a big country. It's got winter sunshine. I've checked the flight, with regards to the flights, the price of flights and even the hotels. If you look at booking.com, the hotels don't have to be that expensive. It could be on the cards. It's the most likely one this winter time. Most likely one. Okay. David Mayer, what are you drinking? I am drinking Speckleton. Ugh. Okay, so it's looking like it's Mexico, okay? So basically, the way that I'm looking at it, Mexico's a great country. I've been to Mexico before, but I haven't really been there. And there's only one way to do anything, and that's properly. You either do it properly. I didn't travel through Mexico properly last time, so now this could be the time to do it. But the problem with all of this is, I've been looking at flights this week. And, I had a flight cancelled last week for Thailand. That's gone down the Swanee River. I can't believe what's happening with all this rubbish that's going on throughout the world. I've always been a person, once I make my mind up with regards to travel, I'll get stuck in there and do it. I hate change your plan, people. I know people over the years who plan to go to travel the world, to do all this kind of stuff. They've never been anywhere because they always have a change your plan. They bottle out of it at the last minute. I've never been like that. If I make my mind up that I want to go to a country, before you know it, I'm on that internet and I'll book that flight. So why haven't I booked the flight for Mexico already? Because this is an exceptional time, an exceptionally bad time, and it's totally frustrating and it's pissing me off big time. I can't believe I've looked at on the internet a number of times or flights, various dates from London to Mexico. I can't believe I've looked on the internet. I'll probably do it again tomorrow. I've done it today. And yet I still haven't had the confidence to actually book a flight. How ridiculous is that? I never thought I'd be in that situation where I'm looking at flights and thinking, well, shall I or shan't I? Because things might change. Mexico's open now, but in a couple of weeks' time it might not be. I don't know. This is just a bastard of a time, really. It's a bastard of a time. Fleeting days, thank you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Cheers. Jay Smith, Ray B, just as yeah, absolutely. Yeah, nice to hear from you, Jay Smith. Okay, Simon Anderson. Simon Anderson, now that is a good comment. That's a bloody good comment. Simon Anderson, Mexico is better than staying in dreary England all winter, Eddie. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it would be. Walking up and down a beach, drinking cold beers, swimming in that lovely. You've got what have you got in Mexico? With regards to Cancun, you've got the Caribbean, or I believe the Americans call it Caribbean. We say a Caribbean here. It's very nice. You've got the Pacific side of Mexico, which I've never been to, and which I'd like to explore. I think there's some good resorts there. There's what else is there? I think there's the Gulf of California, the Gulf of it's a big country, big country. Come on, I've really enjoyed watching the Mexico flows. David, where is Mexico? Okay, you get a flight. You get a flight to New York, and then you turn left. You just get down that way. Still locked out. Butter and Bunny, thanks for that comment. Really nice to meet you. Love to meet you again, mate. David, I hear Costa Rica opens next month. Now, Costa Rica, I thought that place was a bit overrated. I thought it was a bit overrated. I went to a few places. I'll tell you what, I went to one beach resort. What kind of Ponta del something or other, which where all the locals were in the sea, and the water was filthy. It was absolutely filthy. It just was not nice at all. I went to a couple of other places. Well, maybe I've seen a bit more of it. I trekked across a national park in Costa Rica, and that was a really good day. But it was maybe I've seen a bit more of it. But I just, from what I've seen, Costa Rica's a bit overrated. Overrated. Skillful to the best. Colombia more dangerous, right? Come on, but any country can be really dangerous. It's the idea that you don't get involved in anything that you shouldn't get involved in. That's usually a good start. Never trust anyone and never get involved in anything that you shouldn't get involved in. They can all be dangerous. Bournemouth could be dangerous. If you're in the wrong place. Wanderlust, nice to hear from you, mate. Nice to hear from you, Todd. Ed, looking forward to the Mexico Beach vids. Well, I'm not counting my chickens just yet because this is frustrating. This is frustrating right now. In a way, I feel like a bit of a numpty, a bit of a bit namby-pamby, even talking about a country when I haven't got a flight booked for it. Why haven't I got a flight booked for it? Simply because for something that I've never ever come across before in all my years of traveling, I don't feel confident about booking anything. This is the tragedy. I would like to come on here, and I did go on the internet today, and I was looking at the prices and everything. The flights look okay. You don't have to go into any 2-week prison quarantine when you get out there. And under normal circumstances, right? I've looked at the internet about 3 or 4 times about the flights. Under normal circumstances, I would have gone bang, get it on, man. Get it on, man. I would have booked that flight to Mexico and I'd be punching the air. Wow, I'm going to Mexico. And yet I still haven't actually booked that flight because you just don't know what's going to happen in this current climate. And that's, that's really getting me down. I like to know where I am. And right now I'm nowhere. DJ23, can you decide early and wait and move to Southeast Asia next year? That thought of that did actually cross my mind. But the fact is, where do you go? Oh, by the way, anyone I've missed you, but anyone who super chatted there, a big thank you to you. I missed that. I really, I didn't actually say it. But thanks anyway. Okay. Let's just have a little look at the chat here. Fleeting days, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was actually thinking, DJ, of maybe deciding maybe next year because I'm getting on a bit of 58. I'll be 59 next year, and I know some of you thought that I was older than that, but anyway. I was thinking of retiring, but where do I retire to exactly? And in Thailand, seems to be a little bit. Becoming a little bit hostile to Farangs, don't they? That's the way it seems to me. None of these, I can't even think about retiring in any of those Asian countries when they're not even open at this moment in time. So, you just got to see what happens. Okay, Matt Frost, don't leave your house, lose your job, and ruin your life. There is a chance that you might get a virus that might kill you. Okay, yeah, absolutely. Like I say, the virus is, it doesn't worry me, but to be blunt, cancer and heart attacks worry me a lot more. I met a guy, same age as me this week who's dying. He's only got at least no more than a year to live because he's got cancer. My thoughts are with him. And, I'm just glad that I did all that traveling when I had the chance. Andrew Johnson, nice to hear from you, Andrew. Really nice to hear from you. Whereabouts in Mexico are you thinking of, Eddie? Now, this is what it is because Mexico is a big country. There's a lot to it. It's Cancun, which I wasn't really keen on, but I did like Playa del Carmen. And there's another resort on it. I think it's called Tulum, which is supposed to be, looks very, very nice on the Caribbean side of it. That is at the tip of Mexico. So if you got a return ticket there, you would then have to travel a long way to go to the other places. But if I've got 3 or 4 months, I could do that without a problem. I was actually thinking maybe I had a return ticket to Cancun to start and finish there, and in between, say, public transport around all the other places that I wanted to go, and then back again. There are tons of places. I've been watching videos on Mexico from various people, some young people, young traveler types, and there are so many places to visit there. Inland, coastal areas, massive country. So tons of places to go there. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, Mooney, still trying to get married, Ed. What? Do I look stupid? Okay. I just booked my Odysseus. I just booked my trip to Bogota for Thanksgiving. $183 return on Copa Airlines. And yeah, sounds good. Well, good luck to you, mate. Good luck to you. Mac Media, Evan 37 said the large offer skin cancer, all the better now, but can't wait for time to. Well, I'm pleased that you're better now, mate. I'm pleased it's a blow, every day when you wake up, I suppose, is a bonus. None of us live forever. I'm lucky to have got to my age without ever having any serious illnesses. Yeah, I consider myself really lucky for that. Also, 10 minutes after, also, someone mentioned Acapulco. Now, that's a very famous place in Mexico, but I've been looking at videos on Acapulco, even from a vlogger, an expat who lives there, and he's saying it's not as good as it was, and a lot of negative stuff going on in Acapulco. I can't really comment on Acapulco because I've never been there, and I don't like talking about places where I've never been, but I don't hear good reports about that one. I'm sure there's better places in Mexico than that one. Let's see. John Ortega travels. Tulum is nice, but more expensive. I think that Caribbean side of Mexico, Playa del Carmen, I stayed in a very reasonably priced hotel in Playa del Carmen, but then that was about 15 years ago. So there's tons going on in Mexico. I know people keep saying drug wars because that's the media report that sort of thing, but I've been looking at videos where there's a lot of peaceful Mexican towns where I would love to spend some time in. I mean, what do I think of? I mean, when you want to go to a country, what do you think of? And what do you think of? You think of various things. We all have our own images. When you mentioned Mexico to me, the first thing I think of is bloody spaghetti westerns, even though they weren't filmed in Mexico. Clint Eastwood's spaghetti westerns were filmed in the Canary Islands. But that's what that's what I tend to think of. All those westerns that are watching John Wayne shooting the bandits, Clint shooting the bandits. I don't want to meet bandits out there. I mean, I suppose the modern equivalent of bandits is the cartels. I don't want to meet bandits and I don't want to meet cartels, so I won't be looking for anything like that. Let me see now. Okay, let me see. Ugh. Okay, we are now. Where are we up to now? Right. Any other notes to waffle on about? Let me see now. Let's see. So, well, Mexico. We talk about 10 p.m. curfews. Anyone got an answer to that? Because I still can't. All the videos of I still can't get an answer to that question. Is everything closing right throughout Mexico at 10 p.m.? Because that wouldn't really suit me very, very much. Because I have this curious, habit when I'm traveling. I do whatever I've got to do during the daytime. Late afternoon, I drink a few beers, have a meal, and then around about 6 o'clock, I get my head down. And sometimes I struggle to wake up until, I mean, you think about it, if all the bars in Mexico are closing at 10 o'clock, those who are used to Thailand and Cambodia, 10 o'clock, you're only waking up at that time. I mean, the night is young then, so that would take a bit of getting used to, it would. Sean the Prawn, thanks for that, mate. Paul Conlon, in Mexico, I see the Canadian vlogger from Acapulco, and he laughs at the thought of it being violent. Yeah, it's probably very. If you don't go looking for trouble, you're probably okay. People who end up in serious shite in these countries, they do it because they get involved in things that they shouldn't get involved in. And, I've seen the way British people, get drunk and start shooting their mouths off. And some of these people bring it on. So I've never had any serious problems. There is one YouTube video that I've seen. There was a Mexican vlogger. I think it was a young lad, but he had a popular YouTube channel. But I think he said the wrong things that he shouldn't have said about certain people. And he traveled through Mexico, and he was in a bar in Mexico, but he announced where he was going to be. And he invited some subscribers to come and meet him in that bar. But it wasn't just them that turned up, it was the bad guys as well, and they shot him dead. So be careful of, social media. You never know. I mean, it's been, all the guys that I've met have been absolutely terrific, but, be careful if you're going to announce your whereabouts, especially if you've offended the wrong people. Who's there? Thanak Rogers, okay? Nice to hear. Nice to hear from you, mate. Okay, Carl Foster, give me your bath, give me your heart. Thailand will be having a revolution soon. Oh, we don't even want to think down those lines. Michael Mayer, right. What do you do when the UK closes its borders because case numbers are rising again? Then you can't leave the country either. This is a very real thing, mate. It's a very real thing. And this is one of the reasons why I haven't had the confidence to book my flight to Mexico just yet. Nobody knows what's going to happen. No one knows. Australia is in total lockdown. They can't leave the country. New Zealand, I think it's the same with them, but I know Australia cannot leave the country. They can't book flights to anywhere because they can't leave the country. Australians who are stranded abroad cannot get back into their own country. Now, you couldn't really rule out the same happened to England, United Kingdom. You couldn't, it could happen. Anything could happen. I mean, I've already had one flight cancelled. I don't have another flight cancelled. So the one thing that you can't really do at this moment in time is to book months in advance. You can't see that. If I'm going to book a flight, I've got to book a flight close to the time when I'm planning on going. So, the last minute, it's all a gamble. It's all a gamble. Okay, Michael, Mexico City isn't going to shut down for anything. I'll go there. Graham Franklin, Australia penal colony. Oh, no, we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about your penal, mate. You keep that to yourself. Okay, Mark USA, good strip clubs in Mexico. Now you're talking, mate. Now you got me going. Stephen O'Connor, good to hear from you, mate. Morning from Phnom Penh. Lashing rain and floods here. Well, it is October, yeah. Most bars are open, but not the same as before. Lots of hotels are closed. Yeah, well, see, this is the thing. Cambodia, an old favourite of mine. I love Cambodia, fantastic country, even though it's only 2/3 of what it was. Remember, their beach resort, Sihanoukville, isn't the same anymore. You've still got that wonderful place, Siem Reap and Phnom Penh, which is a great city. I love those places. The problem is, they're not going to be the same as before. They're not going to be the same. Did I mention last week with Siem Reap? Siem Reap is a wonderful town. There's a lot of like young people there. Young backpackery type of people there. But Siem Reap is such a charming town. I love my last visit to Siem Reap. Terrific place. Really, really is a great place. But even if you could go there now, it's not going to be the same as before because it's not going to have all those young travellers. Now, young travellers, a lot of people don't like them. They say they get on their nerves. They never done me any harm. They add character to the place. You walk up Pub Street in Siem Reap and you see all those young travellers and the place has got a great vibe. Even if you're an old geezer like me, it's still nice to be there, And if you was to walk through Pub Street now and everything was bare and empty and there was hardly any around, all those great bars in Phnom Penh, it's just not going to be the same, is it? It's just not going to be the same. There's going to be no atmosphere there, so I don't know. Okay, I'm going to grab myself another beer. Okay, I'll be back in a moment. Okay. Okay. I'm back. I'm back from outer space. I just walked in to find you here with that sad look upon your face. Okay. Mexico, you love countries with super spicy food. I like spicy food. I'm not really that keen on Mexican food, but then I admit that I haven't really tried it. I must admit, I watched a video the other day from someone, but you had a plate full of those tacos. Yeah, it looked really nice. Looked really nice. Okay. Get a nice bit of froth. A nice bit of froth in there. Okay. Well, this is speckled then. I bet you don't serve that in Mexico. Christopher King. Chris King, I went to Gambia. Now, a few people mentioned the Gambia. Yeah, you know, I think that's it's a bit of a knocking shop, the Gambia. Not just for men, but for old ladies as well. We like to go with the young gigolos. I've never been there. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure that Gambia is on because I haven't heard anything about that one from any report. Yeah, okay. Rabbit Travels. How's your Spanish, Eddie? Okay. Quiero un cerveza, por favor. Okay. I know that one. Moses Timmons, Tier 1 as the hottest girls. Okay, now I keep hearing about this, and I have sneakily looked at a few videos of Tier 1 on it. Now, this is the border town which borders the United States. Now, there's a couple of guys who watch these videos to say that they, you know, have hopped over the border to have a bit of a party in Tier 1. Good for them. But this is, like Andrew Johnson was mentioning before, where you're going in Mexico. Mexico's a big country. Let's say, for example, when I arrived there on a plane, I just want to hit a beach resort. And Cancun and what do we call it, Playa del Carmen would be ideal. But from somewhere like Cancun to Tijuana, that's bloody thousands of kilometers. You're talking about one end of the country right to the other. So would I get as far as Tijuana? If I'm out there for a few months, quite possibly. We'd have to say about that. But yeah, Tijuana is... I've actually seen a video, yeah. Did you look like some hot ladies there? What kind of guy did you think I am? Okay. Lewis Burlingham, okay. Thank you for that articulate comment. There's no atmosphere anywhere now. We're doomed, okay. I thought the first bit was bad enough. The second bit, oh my God, may as well just give up. Oh, but nice to hear from you anyway. John Ortega Travels. Beer in Mexico is cheap, 20 to 30 pesos. Is that roughly around a quid? So, something like that. It depends. It depends where you go. But one of the problems that I have when people ask you, you know, when you've been to another country, how much is the beer? A lot of people reply. They give a figure of how much the beer cost, and what they're not telling you is that they went in one bar where it was dirt cheap, and other bars where they were more reasonably priced or expensive. But they'll tell you the cost of the cheap place, and you tend to think, well, that's, you know, that means the whole place. It's not, beer varies wherever you go. Touristy areas, it's going to be more. Touristy areas are going to be more, but I'm sure that in Mexico you will find some really good value little towns. Someone just told me I'm wrong, Eddie. Chiang Mai is more like it was 20 years ago. Fantastic, so it's better. No backbite. Okay, well, cool. You can title to your opinion. I don't recall talking about Chiang Mai tonight, but anyway. Yeah, okay, Simon. The main Riviera's great little beach towns, apart from the obvious ones. Punto, something or other. And James, I've seen a lot of videos about Mexico. And like I say, at least I have something now, which I didn't have a couple of weeks ago. I have enthusiasm for Mexico. It's late last night. I was watching a lot of these vlogs from YouTubers that I've never even heard of before on 10 best places, 10 best towns in Mexico. And your enthusiasm builds up. And yeah, it looks like a damn good place. I could easily spend a few months there. Absolutely. DJ23 like to go. Still low for December. I think more likely January, February. I am not going to sit around, you know, waiting for, you know, those wonderful Asian countries, you know, to get their acts together and all of this. You could be waiting forever. You could be waiting indefinitely. Right now, it's the middle of October here. I've done all my work for the past 6 months. I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm ready to go traveling. I've got the old traveler's spirit, the enthusiasm back inside me again. I'm ready to go, and you know, those countries are just seem to be dithering. You know, you hear every development you hear. You know, this is it. This is the idea that's going to get the tourists back. I don't know. It always turns out to be a false alarm. Richard, hi Ed. He went to Cozumel, Mexico last year. That was rocking. So many great places in Mexico. So many great places. This. Oh yeah, he's giving some good information here. Left lane cruising. Most strip clubs have short-time rooms on the premises, and happy ending massages can be found everywhere. What is it? I never even heard of that one. Guadalajara, some of the hottest women in Mexico. See, this is good stuff, man. This is good stuff. This is what I like to hear. Okay. Have a little look. Okay. So enjoy every day. Okay. A few more little notes here. A few more little notes here. Okay. So one of the things other things that I wanted to mention is you know, can you get really bang for your buck right now? And I don't just mean how much things cost. If you're going to travel anywhere at this moment in time, travel is expensive at any time. It's expensive. Also, the fact, don't forget, I'm self-employed. So if I'm traveling for months on end, that means that I'm spending money, but I'm not earning any money. But I don't really. I've decided that I'm not going to think like that anymore. That's one thing. Some people mention loss of earnings. Okay, I'm prepared with that. I've done it for long enough. But the fact is, traveling is expensive. And what I was thinking of, if you're going to spend all your money traveling, how are you going to feel when you get there when it's not as good as what it should be? Because if you're going to spend all that money, you want value for money. You want it to live up. You want to get your money's worth. And the problem that is with a lot of countries now, the few that are really open and available, maybe even Mexico could possibly be one of them, is that it doesn't live up to what it should live up to, simply because this is an exceptionally bad time right now. You know, you're still going to be paying the same amount of money, but you're not going to be having as much fun. I don't know. You just got to, I suppose when you get out there and you travel's going to look similar. If you're going to visit historical sites, they're going to look similar. But I wouldn't like the idea of all the bars and everything closing at 10 o'clock. I wouldn't like that idea. Okay. Who's that? I'll block him if I see him. Who is that? Okay. Let me see. Mexico and South America know all about the cost of things. No great bounties, banditos at every corner. No, that's not true, mate. I've spent 6 months traveling around South America. I spent a couple of months around these Central American countries. No, it's not. It's cool. As long as you behave yourself and you know you're okay. Lewis Bellingham, Eddie, how much is the flight to Mexico? Do you know? Well, it depends what you're prepared to do. But if you're prepared to go economy, you know, and I don't see any reason, I don't see any harm in that. You can get return tickets for 400 quid. It's quite possible from like Heathrow or Gatwick to Cancun, about 400 quid. It's not really that expensive. It's not really that expensive at all. I've seen some really good value. I mean, you know, the kind of money that it's worth taking a gamble on. Uh, not YYG guy. Not as cheap in Mexico as it was years back. Research the price for a massage and see, okay? Is anything as cheap as it used to be? Mexico seemed reasonably priced, you know, from what I see. And I went in the touristy areas. It seemed reasonably priced. One of the things that I would mention, let's say, for example, that I was to go out there for let's say for 3 months, maybe 4 months. We'll see. if I was to go out there for that length of time, it would. I'd probably save money because I'd be doing something that I don't normally do. If I'm booking anything for maybe 4 months, I would expect to go to other countries. I'd be doing flights from there to maybe other countries. So I'd save money by not doing that, simply staying put and traveling around the place. But the fact is that when you're traveling for months on end, you've got to be pretty nifty when it comes to budgeting. No, places that you will go to are, touristy places. You will spend more money than what you planned with your weekly budget. Like Pattaya, when you arrive in Thailand, if you spend your first couple of weeks in Pattaya, then plan on going to other places, Pattaya will blow a hole in your budget. You will spend a lot more money there than what you planned for your overall budget. But what you can then do is to go to other places, cheaper places to rest, relax, soak up the culture, and you will spend less money. So then you will bring your budget down again. I've done that in many, many places. And, I would imagine Mexico would probably be the same. If I spent the first couple of weeks in the Cancun area, I'd probably spend more money than what I planned for me weekly budget or my daily budget. But after that, I'd then go to a smaller town where, less touristy place, where I'd probably go below my budget. So then I'd bring the budget back on level. It's doable, it's doable. I've done it many times before. I mean, the idea of going to somewhere like that for 3 or 4 months and, just staying in the touristy area all the time and just eating and drinking and eating and drinking day after day, I wouldn't want to do that anyway. You go crazy if you do that. Sometimes you've got to have a holiday from your holiday. Rude Potato, the Hong Kong Gentlemen's Club in Zona Norte, Tijuana, is like going into a go-go. But I've heard so much about, I've heard about that one, but I've heard so much about Tijuana and some of those clubs in it. They sound really, really great. The thing is, if I was to do a return ticket, to get to the other end of Mexico, that's a long way away. So I'd have to think about that one. But I wouldn't mind. I still wouldn't mind. I'll work something out. I'll work something out. Don't worry. Yeah, okay. Carl Foster, Singapore is open. Okay. Well, good for Singapore. I had the opportunity to go there, but I've never heard any good words about it. Not for me. Dana, Mexican food is delicious. Okay. Okay. Like I said, I'm never really bothered much with Mexican food, but I did look at a video the other day where it was, they were eating tacos and they looked bloody nice, looked really tasty. Stuart Nate, is Mexico safe? I'm not on about COVID. I'm on about muggings, shootings, etc. I've travelled through South America. Do you think if you think Mexico is not safe, do you think Brazil is safe? I spent about 3 months overall travelling through Brazil, all around Brazil, Rio, so many cities. I walked around day and night. I'm still alive. The people who end up having problems, that's a whole subject in itself. But just don't go around flashing expensive stuff, gold jewelry, this kind of stuff. Don't get involved in anything you shouldn't get involved in. Stick with it within the law and never trust anybody. And you should be all right. Keep smiling. You ever heard about that one? Absolutely. Sean the Pro, Morocco. And I've never been to it. I don't know. I don't know. That's my cup of tea. That somehow. Andy Johnson, Sweden. I'd go there if I thought I could meet ABBA. The blonde one. I used to feel sorry for the beautiful dark-haired girl in ABBA because the blonde one got all the attention. But Agneta's bloody good singer. Bloody good singer. You mentioned Sweden. I'm talking about ABBA. Okay. Okay. Sounds like a good trip. There should be some decent vlogs and some great times ahead. Okay. In UK, Ed prefers pork pies. Damn right I do. I haven't got any tonight. I thought, give it a miss. I'm gonna have burgers pretty soon. But I'm waffling on here about Mexico, and like I say, I mentioned before, I feel like a bit of a numpty, banging on about a country which I've now got enthusiasm for, and I think it'd make a great winter traveling adventure. And I looked at that flight today, and I still didn't have the confidence to book that flight. I think maybe for the next the next live stream in a week's time, I'll either book the flight or, well, we'll see what happens. Unless something you never know what's going to come in on the news. I could book that flight to Mexico tomorrow. By the end of the day, I could see, at the end of the day, Mexico was closed. It's got too much COVID. They're not allowing British people to go there, or they're not. You never know what's going to happen next. You just don't know what's going to happen next. Okay, let's see. Okay. So, well, Mexico's allowing us British people in. But the fact is that, I just can't, I can't just sit around waiting for something to happen. It's not happening. It's clear at this moment in time that it's not happening in Southeast Asia. My beloved Philippines. I mean, I haven't heard anything. I know too many people who have been stranded there for months on end. I even know people who are still stranded in the Philippines from early this year who can't get back to the UK. So it's this we're in it for the marathon with this bloody awful virus pandemic thing. It's not going to be over anytime soon. The Southeast Asians, I think we can say at this moment in time that they're out for this one. It's just not going to happen. It hurts me to say it, but it's just not going to happen. So, I've got to look for somewhere. I can't just sit around doing nothing. I can't just sit around in a freezing cold winter, I mean, the most important thing, there's a line for it. I wrote this one down. I'll use this one again. The most important thing in my life is to live my life. Now, that's a good slogan, isn't it? Okay? The most important thing in my life is to live my life. Well, I'm going to bloody live my life. Okay? I'm not going to leave it much longer. I'll make a decision. And, I'm going to book something very, very soon. Okay. So we're up to 53 minutes now. I've waffled on. There's no pork pies tonight. I had a bloody big pizza earlier on today. Let's see. Okay. Well, Shadow, the thing is, we're heading for full lockdown. It'd be illegal to travel abroad for a holiday. It's all depressing stuff. I mean, there hasn't been much fun in this live stream, but what it is, I mean, no, I live in the south of England, northern England. Liverpool, which is where I come from originally, is in lockdown. It's what's happening in the north will probably spread down south here. We're all going to be miserable. We're all going to tell we have to stay indoors. I'm at the point now when, I've got to do something. I've got to do something. I'm not going to stay here or in the cold, freezing. And worse, if it starts raining. I've said this before, but this is very serious now. Sometimes you get moments in Britain when it just, the rain starts and it just doesn't stop, and it can go on for weeks and months and months. And I get depression. When it's raining every day. I absolutely hate it. I've got to get away before all that stuff. No, I want to be in the sun. I want to be sitting on a beach in Mexico, looking at all those lovely ladies in bikinis. I want to be sipping a nice cold beer in a hot climate. I've got my old traveller spirit. I want to see places which I've never seen before. I've got my old traveller spirit back anyway, so... Yeah, I did watch a few videos. Did you? Yeah. I'm not going to name other YouTubers. Okay. Whatever. Ray B. Who's that? Fabio. I'm thinking of rent my place. I want to go abroad. It's an income while away. What do you reckon? Sounds like a good idea to me. But isn't this a terrible year to be doing anything? I think anyone will be lucky to get abroad this winter. Steve Cage, aside from COVID, I think Brazil is safer than Mexico. All countries are safe until, you hear all these terrible statistics. And it's all just numbers until, of course, you become one of those statistics. Let me tell you, I was in Cali, Colombia. I was in Cali, I was in Cali, Medellin. Where else was I? Yeah, Medellin. And I find it was quite safe. I was able to walk around at night time, even, not a problem going into the bars, fine. And a couple of months after I returned to the UK, I seen a report about Medellin, and it said that in the month that I was there was 200 murders in that city in that month. and that's terrible. That's absolutely dreadful. But it's like one of those things. You know, you hear all these statistics about these places of violent crime and danger and everything. And when you're sitting there at a pavement cafe or walking on the beach, it doesn't really mean anything until, of course, you become one of those statistics. You just got to make damn sure that you're not. I've said this before. Be safe. Don't get involved in anything. I am not saying that people, you know, travelers, tourists who get murdered or end up in prison or have all kind of terrible things happening to them in these countries. I'm not saying that it's all their own fault. What I'm saying is that it's never ever happened to me personally. But then I don't. I've seen the way some other travellers behave, and some of them, you know, I think, mate, you're asking for it. Okay. Carl Foster Soy Cowboy is closed. I don't blame him. Where's the tourist, mate? No tourist. Oh, bloody good stuff. Bloody good stuff. Ron Mexico, safe in certain areas, the suburbs. Bello are dangerous. Uruguay, Oz Clark, Uruguay is nice. I stayed in the same hotel. A little country, that one. I actually travelled through Uruguay on a bus from Brazil into Argentina. I think Uruguay is one of those little countries that I passed through. I never actually got to see it. Bit of infighting in the chat here. Roy Gold, I was in Colombia in February. I had a great time. You would just need to speak a little Spanish. See, the thing is, I travelled for a month through Colombia. And you know, I thought it was a beautiful, beautiful country, and they're a really glamorous race of people. You know, there's a lot, lots of, and you know, some fantastic locations: Cali, Medellin, where was it, Cartagena, of course. Getting a boat out of those beautiful, stunning Caribbean islands, absolutely fantastic. I think, you know, I didn't really do all that I should have done in Colombia simply because I was coming towards the end of that big 6 month traveling, road trip around, you know, Brazil, Argentina, Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador, and Colombia was the last. Before I went back into Brazil, Colombia was the last country that I visited, and I think I'd run out of a little bit of energy at that stage. You know, so I don't think I really made of it what I should have done. Okay, bloody COVID, the bloody okay. What have we got? Oz Clark, Ponta del S. Nice said. Where is that? Is that in Costa Rica? Okay. What have we got now? I'm going to wrap this up soon. We're coming up to an hour now. Anyway, there's been well 482 in the chat. Okay. So basically, you know, I wish this was. I like to be decisive. I would like to come on air and say I've booked a flight to Mexico. I've gone and done this, but the reason I didn't book that flight, I've waffled on about it today. But it's just I would never ever believe that I would live to the day when you know I would not have the confidence to book a flight. When I make my mind up to book a flight, I don't did it. I don't hang around. You know, just get on with it, man. Come on, book that flight, and I feel fantastic for it afterwards. But this current situation, with not really knowing what's going to happen next, and already having one flight cancelled, you know, I can really, really do without. I need to know exactly where I am, and right now I'm just sitting there drinking a speckled in. Matthew Breyer, here in Siam Reap, the locals are hurting due to the lack of tourists. Man, man, I can well believe it. I feel sorry. I feel sorry for all of those people who work in the tourist industry who depend on tourists. Everyone, even the tuk-tuk drivers in Siam Reap and other places. I really feel sorry for them big time. They're ordinary people. They're working people. There's no tourist and there's no money for them. You know, at the end of the day, I've still got a roof over my head. I've still got my speckled in. You know, I've still got my pork pies. Jesus Christ, my thoughts are with those people. Okay, let me see now. Andy Johnson, do you like Guinness? Yeah, we've got a couple of Guinness, but I prefer Speckle then. Okay, well, I couldn't go before the return of an old favourite, okay? Listen, the purpose of these live streams, I think I've done okay. You know, in these times when, you know, I'd rather be making videos. I'd love to be making travel videos. I'd love to be travelling. Oh, lovely, lovely stuff. Lamb's Navy rum, fantastic. The return of an old favourite. I'd love to be making videos, but this is a terrible time right now. And I've got to travel somewhere. I've got to get back on the road. I've got to start making videos again. I love my YouTube channel. Oh, by the way, I hit 35,000 subscribers this week. Anyway, I don't know if anyone noticed. The subscribers slowed down because you get more subscribers when you're making videos as opposed to live streams. But I'm keeping this going anyway. I'm keeping this little YouTube channel going. I'm doing these weekly live streams because we're all in the same boat. I'm not just the only miserable bastard out there. There's lots of people out there who are totally miserable right now because we can't travel the way we want to travel. You know, it's not getting any better. In the USA, Australia, my thoughts about you guys, my thoughts about you in Australia, guys, because, you know, I've received a lot of... I received a lot of messages from Australia, and it sounds pretty terrible to me, the idea. You've got a great... I'm sure you've got a great country. You've got fantastic beaches there. But still, a lot of people would love to be able to travel to other countries. As it is in Britain, we can travel to other countries, but this virus is not getting better. It's in the UK, it's getting worse. It is getting worse. It's they're closing the north down. Whatever happens in the north, you never know. It could drift down south. Who cares? I just want to get out of here, man. I want to get out of there. Yeah, I want to spend the winter in the sun, and I've got to make a decision very, very soon. I've dithered a bit. I've looked at flights. I've thought, shall I take the gamble? I've already taken one gamble with the Bangkok flight, and that didn't pay off. So let's take a gamble. I'm going to do it over the next few days. I'm going to make my mind up over the next few days. And hopefully in the next live stream, I'll be able to tell you that I booked the flight. Well, Shadow, Wales are putting roadblocks on the border to England as some sheep. Oh, Jesus. I'll read that again, man, after I've had a sip of Lamb's Navy. Beautiful stuff. Well, Shadow, Wales are putting roadblocks on the border to England. Some sheep, okay. I'm sure it's good, but I don't get that. Okay. Chris says, Eddie, hope you can get a winter holiday somewhere, mate. Good luck. There's always somewhere like the Canary Islands. Well, I've been to Gran Canaria before, and that's got winter sunshine, not as hot as, you know, obviously somewhere like Mexico. But the Canary Islands is very nice. But would that really be of interest to people who watch this YouTube channel? Come to think about it, would Mexico really be of interest? I mean, you know, this YouTube channel, you know, got a boost because I was doing vlogs on places like Thailand and Cambodia. So hopefully, you know, if I do make it out to Mexico, I just hope that, you know, everyone finds I can do vlogs that are going to interest people. Okay, Samuel Hutchinson, nice to hear from you, mate. Email Traveller Pete, email the Mexican embassy in London. They will let you know what flight you're 100% going. Okay, it's worth thinking about. John Smith just said Chiang Mai is down 100 million this year. And probably worse than that. What's that? Is that pounds? Was that pounds? Is 100 million? You know, all of those countries are just it's gonna be a disastrous year. It's going to be a disastrous year. I mean, oh, geez, flights, you know, where I live, I've seen beautiful cruise liners out just, you know, parked near the sea doing nothing. People are going to lose money. Big companies are going to be losing money right across the board. It's going to be an almighty recession this winter. I just want to get out of it. I mean, I just want to get away from it all and just simply get traveling again, you know. I'm not getting any younger. I'm one of these people who thinks that each year could be my last one alive, or at least my last one of good health. And if you know, if the worst comes to the worst, and I do develop a terrible health issue and I can't travel anymore, at least I'll be able to say that I went out with a bang. Okay? Hopefully go out with quite a lot of bangs, but we'll see about that. Phil Roberts, why did a Mexican guy push his 20-stone wife off a cliff? Tequila, yeah? Okay, yeah, okay. Well done. Bloody good stuff. Andrew Johnson, hope your plans work out, Eddie. Well, it's at the end of it. Yeah, absolutely, Andrew. It's great to hear from you, but at the end of the day, it's up to me to do. If it was under normal circumstances, I would already have booked the flight to Mexico. The reason that I did it is simply because these are not normal circumstances. These are exceptionally bad circumstances, and you just don't know where you're at. And that's the worst thing, to not know where you are. I mean, so I'm going to make over the next few days, I'm going to make a decision, and hopefully the next time I get back online, I'll be able to tell you about it. Johnny Ringo, did he have speckled hen in Mexico? Okay. I'll tell you when I'm there, man. But I'll tell you what, imported beer can be expensive. You know, I was in a bar in Bolivia once. Which place was I in Bolivia? I think it was La Paz. I was chatting with some, gringos there, British people. And we were chatting there, and the bar owner was a really friendly guy. I think he was Australian. I think he was Australian. And we were drinking, beer, local beer, which was very, very, very cheap. And I said, have you got anything? I got a bit tired with it. I said, have you got anything else? He said, we got Boddingtons. Boddingtons. Now, it's not something I normally drink, but Boddingtons, when you've been drinking lager all the time, it gets really sameish. He said, we're going to go to a bar, next door and get some for you. And he come back with a couple of cans of Boddingtons. I thought, Jesus, to have something a bit different, very, really, really nice. And then I realised that per can, he charged me £4 per can for Boddingtons. Yeah, what? You mean my bill's gone up from, a few dollars to all of a sudden £4 per can of Boddingtons? £8 for 2 cans of Boddingtons? Well, they're imports, aren't they? I don't know. You decide that one. At least you could have told me about that. Yeah, okay. Mike Chef's remember. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Oh, oh my God. It's a funny old world, isn't it? Thai bars are still strong. Yeah, it's still strong, yeah. I wish it was there to find out. Ray B, Lamb's Navy rum. Okay, I've been waffling on, okay, for 1 hour and 9 minutes now anyway. There is 473 people in the chat. 135 thumbs up. That's really good. Kevin Lyons, do travel video in UK. UK is it's a bit boring, to be honest with you. I've got no enthusiasm. I've got no enthusiasm for UK. I want to be in a tropical beach, swimming in nice water with lots of bikini babes going by, and having a cold beer in my hand, and then I'll do a vlog. Let me see. Rum is the best. Let's maybe want to drink some beers. 1,000 baht, 24.65. That's about the same. And it hasn't changed much. Andrew Johnson, congrats, Ed. Well deserved. Okay, thanks for that, mate. Anyway, I'm going to get something to eat soon. I'm going to finish this pretty soon. What can we do to end this? Okay. Meredop El, geez, that's a hell of a name, that, man. How much time before you fly will you book? I mentioned this earlier, but what's really pissing me off about all of this is that it's taking away all the excitement, all the fun out of booking your travel. You can't book anything months in advance because absolutely nobody knows what situation we're going to be in a few months' time. Nobody knows what situation we're going to be in. Really, all you can do is just book at the last minute. If you see a country that's open and that you can go to, you've got to book at the last minute, because the fact is that next week It might not be open. And then there's the other thing to think about. You know, if you do make it to another country, you know, have your fun over a period of time, maybe weeks or months or whatever. How's it going to be in a few months' time? You know, you may end up getting caught in a lockdown out there. I know somebody who went to Thailand for 3 months. He came back 7.5 months later. 4.5 months being locked down there, and he's self-employed like me. Imagine the amount of money that he lost during that time. Well, the fact is that right now, this is a terrible. This is a terrible moment in time. It's a time that probably none of us have ever known anything like this before. It's a time that we'd all rather forget, but it's not over yet. It's got a long way to go. Things are not getting better. They look like they're getting worse to me. And all as I personally could do is just do weekly live streams right now. Just do a live stream. Invite you, fellow travelers, to come together once a week. Let's talk about it. You know, let's talk about it. I'll try and develop this live stream into something else. But, you know, for now, all we can do is just come together and be depressed together. And there's no shame in being depressed. There's no shame in it, okay? Well, this situation is getting us all down. It's getting me down. It's probably getting a lot of other people down. I've said this before, but how about the guys who work, all year to really blow out for the 2-week holiday? They've been robbed of that. All their hard work. They've got money in their pocket. They want to go out. They want to live like a rock star in Pattaya for a couple of weeks and really, really go for it. They've been robbed of that because it's not happening, is it? You know. Okay. I'm gonna finish this now. So what? You know, and what will the chat's getting a little bit? The chat's getting a little bit. There's always Rouse you. There's always porno. It's all not lost. Okay, thank God for all of that. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Ross Rome's Ed Sweeney. Turn your lives into a hangout and invite people onto a panel chat. I'll look into something like that. I'll look into, but my life seems to be doing okay right now. They're doing all right. I mean, you know, I've seen other chats where they invite other people, but I'm getting some good viewing figures, man. I'm getting some good viewing figures. There's nearly 500 people in the chat last week. I peaked at over 500. I've done that before. When I upload these videos to YouTube, they get maybe 10, 11,000 views, whatever. I had one at 16,000 views. I mean, think of me. This is whatever you think of this live stream. Think of me as, a late night radio broadcast. The only difference is that you can actually see the drunken bastard instead. You know what I mean? You can actually see the ugly bastard drinking his Lamb's Navy rum. I'm going to be doing other things. I'm not used to live streams because I'm used to making videos, but I'm not traveling right now, so I'm not making videos. I'll think of something, man. I'll think of something. It's going to come to a point where I'm going to think of something. Things are going to change, man. I've worked solidly for the last more than 6 months now. I'm ready to go abroad. I should already be abroad. I should be on my travels right now. I'm not. I'm stuck here in, cold, miserable UK. I'm still working. I'm still earning money every day. Okay, things are going to change, man. Things are going to change. One of the things, I never feel, complete unless I've actually got a flight boot. And right now, I haven't got a flight boot. I did have one for Thailand, but it's cancelled. I've looked at flights for Mexico, and I've done something that I've never ever thought I'd do. I actually didn't have the confidence to book the flight because of the current situation. But it's going to change, man. It's going to change. Things are going to change. I'm going to make a decision over the next few days. Shall I stay or should I go? Okay. Andrew Johnson, take care. All the best anyway, Andrew. It's always good. It's always good to hear from you, mate. Okay. We'll keep in touch. So, Ed, Ray B. So, Ed, where do you go for winter? Okay. Look at the title, man. I've spent the last hour and 15 minutes talking about it. Okay, Dixie Normus. Just as God Almighty, what it's going downhill now. Okay, no pork pies tonight. No pork pies tonight. There's no pork pies tonight because I had a big piece of pizza early on. So I'm gonna disappear now. I'm gonna cue something. Okay. No Asian massage pals and anything to take the edge off. Thania Rucker Rogers, you're so cute, Eddie. Oh, I love you too. Whoever the hell you are, anyway. Very. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Other than the fact that I'm going to get an ice cube. I'm going to get an ice cube and have another lounge day. I'm not going yet. You haven't got rid of me just yet. Oh, here we go. One more Lamb's Navy rum, okay? It's late at night. There we go. Okay. 475 people in the chat. Okay. Still a significant number. I'm not finished yet. So we've waffled on. We've been depressed. And now right at the end, I'm going to get silly. I'm going to get silly. You know what I mean? Monty Python unashamedly could get silly, so I'm going to get silly, okay? So I'm going to do something I've never ever done before on a live stream. No, it's not that bloody one. It's not that one. Not that one. I'm going to finish. I'm going to finish this live stream in a way that I've never ever finished this at a live stream before, okay? I'm going to go out with a bang. No, I don't mean with a hot lady, much as I like to, okay? What do you think this is? Bloody porn knob? Go on, where are you? Where are you? You're in there somewhere, okay? Come here. Right, to end this live stream, for those who are still watching, a couple of years ago, just for the fun of it, I started writing a few poems. I lessened my working hours, and I started writing a few poems. And I started my channel writing poems because it's what I thought of doing. Never got anywhere, but anyway. So I took out a few poems that I wrote, okay? Now this one, I'm going to finish with this. This one, you know, I once had a girlfriend, right? And she, lovely girl, nice girl, and all that. But she had a job which, oh my God, I've never come across this before. And you know, one of those things that you never think you're going to come across. She actually worked in a fishmonger's, and she worked in a fishmonger's. And when she came home and we got together and we kissed and we said hello and that smell of fish, oh my God, is there ever such a turn off than when your girlfriend smells of fish? Can you imagine anything worse than that? Okay? So I wrote a poem about it. Okay? I wrote a poem about it. Okay? No, it's not like, it's not John Betjeman or Poet Laureate or anything like that. Don't expect anything like that. But it's a real story. It's a real story. You know, there's certain things about, you know, women that will turn you off. And okay, so I'm going to crack on with this. I'm going to crack on with this right at the end, and then I'm going to finish. Okay, this is the go out on. It's a poem that I wrote a couple of years ago. It's called "When Your Girlfriend Smells of Fish." Right. I once had a romance, but it didn't last long. She was a lovely girl, but there was something wrong. It wasn't her personality I didn't like. It was her place of work that set me on my bike. She worked in a fishmonger's, which is all very well, but at the end of the day, she'd bring home the smell. But at the end of the a sensual aroma is one you can only wish when your girlfriend smells of fish. It never occurred to me when we started going out that there's nothing sexy about a herring or a trout. How can I get a decent hard on when there smells like something fishy going on? Your sex life never really comes alive when your girlfriend reeks of mackerel number 5. When she came home from work at the end of the day, the smell of fish just wouldn't go away. Even when I gave her flowers, that fishy smell would linger for hours. However sexy she may have looked, she'd still smell like a fish who'd just been cooked. A sensual aroma is one you can only wish when your girlfriend smells of fish. It's said that I'm a lousy gambler. In this case, I must be a rotten angler. I don't want to sound like a miserable sod, but it ain't much fun when she smells of cod. A woman never seems quite whole with the rancid smell of Dover sole. The tragedy is, after love is gone, the smell of fish lingers on and on. We're not together anymore. The smell of fish sent me out the door. I have a new girlfriend, her job is dancing. We hit it off without romancing. She dances naked on a stage. I felt it was time I turned the page. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of strippers. But at least she doesn't smell of kippers. Thank you. Anyway, okay, they get better. They get better. They get better. Okay, oh, some good comments on this. Some good comments on this. Yeah. What's this? Your big Phoenix. Okay, fine, thank you, thank you. Fish and chips, she sounds lovely, Ed. Okay, oh, yeah, okay, okay. Quick, best comment so far. Okay, best. Quick, open the borders. He's losing his marbles. What have you lost them, mate? What fucking marbles? They went down the Swanee River years ago. Carl Foster, don't batter her. Wow, that is bloody good. That is bloody good. Drunk poem, okay? That was actually the worrying thing is, mate, that I was actually sober when I wrote that one. Oh, these are good. I like this. Chaz Brown, that's it. I've had enough. Bloody good stuff, mate. Okay, well done. Better here, good. Fishy fingers, yeah, okay. Good stuff, okay. I'm going to go now anyway. Could have been worse, but I could have smelled a Brute 33. Yeah, okay. Fine, what's that? Funny, okay. Listen, who's that? Do you have a phone number, Eddie? Yeah, okay. It sounds a bit fishy, that one. Okay, let's see. Okay, who's that? A860, don't carp on about it. Bloody, this is good. We're getting a little bit creative. Here. Okay, listen, I've waffled on a bit. I've done Speckled Den. I've done Lamb's Navy Run. I've said that, Mexico was on the cards. Tune into next week to see what big the flight. I think the flight's coming up soon. It's coming up soon, okay? Listen, I will say thanks for watching. We've got to stay together, man. We've got to stay together. This is a terrible time for all of us. It's a time that nobody knows what is going to happen next. I don't know what's going to happen next. No one knows what's going to happen next. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. But let's just hope for the best, okay? Listen, keep safe, guys, okay? I hope everyone keeps smiling. Cheers to everyone. Lamb's Navy Rum, Speckled Den. I'm going to have a few burgers on toast in a minute. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. And God bless you all, okay? Cheers.